right, good evening, everyone. CMPRadio.net is on the air everywhere in Delco. Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful streets of Chester, PA, Delco, PA, the voice of Chester, promoting positivity, growth, spirituality, and promoting those community conversations that are necessary and needed, especially now today. I want to give thanks and to each and every person that are viewing me at the moment, and for those that may come in. As usual, I start off with prayer. Dear God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for being the most high and being the most prevalent part of our lives, for our existence, for our very breath. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for those that have been put in place to keep us protected, to have those that honor themselves with their service to keep us protected. We pray for the soul of the young lady that was found just recently, as of yesterday, Miss Kate Scott. And Lord, we ask that you bless their family. We ask that you look after the mother and the father and the nieces and the cousins and the uncles, and you give them the warmth and the spirit of the compassion, and keep them underneath your wing, Lord, so that way they know that you are there for them. That you are there for them. These things I ask in your name, amen. Real quick with the scripture, because I believe in covering this radio station, because when we speak on these airwaves, our words have power. And we understand that we don't fight against physical beings alone, that we can handle some of those physical beings alone, but we also still fight against principalities and powers and wickedness. Psalms 92, it is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy lovingness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Lord, art most high forevermore. For lo, thy enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All of the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. Oops, unicorns in the Bible. Of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire on mine enemies, and mine ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that riseth up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. That those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Amen.
Amen.
So it's a good thing to give thanks. Let's start off with thanking each and every person that showed up for Chester's homecoming, each and every sponsor, each and every restaurateur, each and every performer, each and every stage hand, each and every sanitation employee. Thank you for the kids that showed up and did their performances. Thank you for all of the event promoters that put this together, like they do every year with the thought in mind of bringing Chester together. I want to personally say this about Chester. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to our public officials with the information that was gotten out received. Thank you to Chester High School for putting on a great performance for the seniors that were graduating this year and for all of those alumni that came back. Shout out and congratulations to the Chester Clippers being 9-0.
Yes.
And you know, listen, man, let me say, I want to say this very, very plainly. In all the years I've lived in Delco, all I've heard was negativity about Chester. Every time you turned around, Chester this, Chester that. And it was never, you know, in a sentence with anything great. I think Chester needs to really take a moment and pat itself on its back for being a black city that comes together, knew how to have a good time. Were there any instances? We'll talk about those in a minute, but let's accentuate the positive. Let's talk about these restaurant owners that really, really came out and made sure that the folks were fed, that prices were reasonable. You know, I always see, and again, I'm a careful observer, everyone, and I keep my eye on Chester because Chester's on the move. Anybody would have to be stupid not to see that Chester is on the move. Chester's on the move. Chester's on the move. Okay? There's no time for this squabbling, Chester. There's no time for this squabbling. You guys are the first city. Do you understand that everything comes through you? Why do you think Mary Gay Scanlon has her office here? It's not by design. I mean, it's not coincidence. It's by design. It's by design. You are the power base. You are. You don't think so? I know so.
I know so too.
I know so. This is why your achievements as a predominantly black city are carefully watched and monitored. Good, bad, or indifferent, Chester. Good, bad, or indifferent, you are underneath that microscope of Delco where people expect you to fail. They expect you to fail. I'm saying this point blank because I'm in rooms where I hear people talking about your city. And this is why I'm in Chester, because I come back and tell you exactly what was said and who said it. Because I don't like that, because the same people talking smack about Chester won't come to Chester and say it to Chester. You heard what I said.
I hear you.
The same people that got a lot of lip all through the different townships, boroughs, municipalities, and cities got something smart to say about Chester all of the time, but won't come to Chester and say it. That's what I was told. You got something to say about Chester, come to Chester. How you doing? I'm here. I know Chester makes Chester. That's the rule. And I'm not from here. I'm not from here. But I know the rules. I know who ain't to be played with. Not saying I'll come up here to play with people. I don't. But when I say and understand that I know who not to play with, it's an understanding. It's an overstanding, as they say in the streets. It's an overstood. I overstand. Mm-hmm. And that's how you have to be when you strange man in strange land. And when you're dealing with a lot of the issues that are in Chester, you got to know the lay of the land before you start running your mouth. You got to know the people and the powers and the players before you start running your mouth. Because we're going to get to this. Because again, all the videos that I've seen that people have put out, and there's been some great drone shots by my boy Will Taylor. There's a young lady, Joy's in her name. I know it's not the lady that's on. I've been breezing through so much, but she had a musical tribute. She had a musical tribute on her page. I saw that. I saw the stuff that Gio put up. Of course, you know what I mean. I saw that. You know what I mean. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm a very well-traveled person. And I deal with every part of every spectrum of humanity. You know, it don't matter to me. Music is music, food is food, and good time is good time. I don't care. That don't bother me. What color you are, I can hold down and I can electric slide. So it don't matter. From whatever end of the spectrum I need to associate with people, that's what I'm going to do. And all I saw was a lot of, folks mingling in crowds and people enjoying themselves. And, you could tell by the video that people were, eating a lot of great food and the music was, definitely going. And these are the positive images that need to be shown worldwide in order to lift Chester out of the shadows of the negativity that people have cast on it because they believe that Chestonians do not care. And I can tell you right now, every homecoming is the example for me, an outsider. I'm an outsider, okay? I'm not, telling y'all what to do. I'm saying as a careful observer, with a point of view, when it comes to these types of events, Chester's tops. You guys are pretty much, and I'm going to say this, you guys are behind Havertown and Springfield when it comes to organization. I'm dead serious, bro. And you know me, I travel in all these circles, okay? Yeah, Springfield, shout out to Springfield. Springfield will put something out, it's done in a week. Like, for real. Ain't no arguments, bro. Ain't no arguments. They say for the kids, ain't no arguments. And if they do have arguments, all that stuff's internal. You never see it on the outside. Right. You never see it on the outside. Havertown, same thing. Havertown has their Havertown Day. Bro, it don't matter how you vote. It don't matter what color you are. It don't matter, it don't matter. On Havertown Day, everybody's Havertown. Everybody's Havertown. And when you go through there and walk through there, and I've worked up there when they've had their days, it's really peace and love. Right. So when I put Chester in that category as really top 5, there's a reason, because you guys do have that spirit. It's in you. And like I said, I'm an outsider looking in. I'm not here to knock Chester at all. But Chester, you got to do some house cleaning. And please do not shoot the messenger.
I'm here to shoot him, y'all.
Okay, listen, don't, please. What I've done for a living is, let's put it this way. I'm an analyst. I analyze stuff, pretty much. You know what analysts do. They look and basically they sweep the corners. They pull the rug back. They get on their hands and knees. They have the flashlight and, they check, the thermostats and, they audit and they do what it takes in order to lay bare everything. And what I would like to suggest, again, because I'm not from Chester, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, but I would like to make a suggestion. I would like to make a suggestion for Chester's administration. I would like to make a suggestion that he includes all department heads. I would like to make a suggestion that the school board, Upland, Chester, and also community leaders that have been involved in the homecoming to very quickly put together a post-homecoming conference. And I'm going to tell you why you need to put it together quickly rather than wait on it. Your situations that happened this weekend are hot and ready now, whether it's positive or negative. In my line of work, if you let this cool down, it's going to blow over into next year. It's going to be a problem next year because it's going to sit sour in the palates of the people.
always a problem.
Listen, I
Right.
know it's always a problem, but
Every year it's
right,
always
like I said, I've been following you guys. I know it's a
something.
problem every year.
Right.
Hold on, it's a problem before the homecoming.
Right.
It's a problem during the homecoming.
Right. It's a problem
It's a
after.
problem after the homecoming.
Right. The
You
respect.
okay?
The respect.
Respect. Okay, and again, I'm saying this with respect. I'm not coming after nobody because what I saw with everybody, what they were, and what the intent was, and what the return on the investment was, these kids got taken care of. Okay, these kids got taken care of. So, like, really, Chester, for real, shout out to you. But you got some house cleaning to do. And if you can just bear with me just a little bit, I would like to just offer some feedback. Number one, Chester, you have to be able to take feedback. You have to. You don't have to like what's being said, but you have to listen to what's being said so you can have a full understanding from everyone's part. In my line of work, there's a catchphrase called feedback is the breakfast of champions. And in my line of work, I used to finish it off with saying, I eat it every day.
Every day.
Every day. I have people on my page that have been my bosses, and they will tell you that they could literally stand me in the middle of a dining room or stand me in the middle of a parking lot or stand me in the middle of a group of my peers and dress me all the way down, bro. And I won't bat an eyeball. But I'll take everything that person said in front of me, and with that competitive spirit of mine,
Fix it.
I will fix it. Because you know why? You ain't going to dress me down.
Again.
Ever. Ever. Ever.
Again.
I kid you not. I had my very good friend Billy Jack. Okay, let me throw this out there. He had a food truck. During COVID, there was a bar that needed, to have its kitchen open because they were doing a kitchen remodel. We loaded up the truck, got the food together, blah, 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 this, that, and the third, or whatever. But I didn't understand here's the thing. I didn't understand the clientele. I didn't understand the volume of their clientele. I didn't understand the dynamics of their kitchen. So I was totally day one unprepared, and I lost power.
All right.
And he's my guy, but he's my boss. What the? I'm like, yo, and I'm running around, and I'm breaking sweats, and and I'm apologizing to another establishment's guests, and it's bad.
All right.
Bad. I took all of that heat. The very next day, I had a checklist of everything that went wrong.
To fix.
All of it got done right. And when I say it was like night and day, it was night and day. And they said, how did you do that? I said, I accepted responsibility.
Do you know what responsibility is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Responsibility is not looking to place blame. Responsibility is accepting that you're the only person right now with the power to change it.
That's it.
Right now, it's devoiding your mind of pointing outwardly and looking inside of yourself to say, I have the acumen, I have the strength, I have the determination to right this wrong. But too many times, like I said, with the feedback, because of tone, because of inflection, because maybe facial expression, maybe, because people don't like they don't like it because it's you. I know a lot of people will listen to what I say, but they won't listen to me because they don't like me. I don't care. You can listen to this at your leisure when you don't feel so threatened. The message is still going to stay the same. Feedback is the breakfast of champion, Chester. And I just want to say to you just one time, when you do have this post-homecoming conference with everybody involved, and please have it soon. Please, somebody start the dialogue. Please, somebody. Instead of hiding behind a narrative that has to be put out because the police were involved in actions that the community finds very detrimental, or because people in the community are expressing their opinions, whether it's positive, moderate or negative, it's still the right of the people to speak about something that they have a vested interest in, which is the Chester homecoming. And let me give you something. Let me give you an example when I say vested interest. Green Bay Packers are what? A publicly owned football team
Absolutely.
by the town of Green Bay Packers, generationally.
Right.
Revenue shared, everything like that. You go to a Green Bay game, you parking in somebody's parking lot for $300, $500, $400. The closer you get to the stadium, $500, $200, $150, depending upon, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they all work together. And they all work together because they have a vested interest that they all own. So do you, Chester. So do you, Chester. If you can take the model of the town of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and what they have historically done to get revenue generated into their family, because you'll never hear about Green Bay being broke. Like, I'm quite sure there's some poor sections, because it's poor everywhere. There's ghettos everywhere. Jim Kelly said it best in Enter the Dragon. You know what I mean? Ghettos suck everywhere. But a vast majority enjoy a certain privilege because they work together. Now, like I said, please have this post-homecoming conference. Please include everyone, even voices of dissent.
I mean, you have to have voices of dissent.
But see, here's the thing.
You can't have everybody in there agreeing that everything was good and everybody was treated
right.
well.
But you have to also have a openness and willingness to understand that dissent doesn't come to you personally.
Right.
It's personal.
Right.
Okay. It's not personally. It's personal because someone has an attachment to it. Because someone has like I said. We talked about this. You have alumni that only come back to Chester for homecoming. And only for homecoming. I mean, like, they'll show up for their family and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. But the other stuff, the summer stuff that, that you did and everything, like Fusion Fridays and everything, they're not driving 150 miles now, south,
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. We have to grow it.
They will.
Yeah. But we understand what we're dealing with. So you have a homegrown product.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, everybody has a homecoming, but Chester really owns its homecoming.
Yeah.
Like, really, it does. Right. And that's, like I said, I read the countless posts and comments from folks. I mean, folks, I don't know you, but I love you because I read your passion. Mm-hmm. And I'm not oblivious to that. I wish that I could bottle up that same type of enthusiasm and take it back down the road to Upper Darby. Right. But can I tell you it ain't gonna work?
Why not?
Because everybody in Upper Darby ain't black. True. I'm gonna say that very honestly. And it's not against them. That's the plus of Chester. You're black. You're a black city. So there should not be anything against you with coming together. See, in my area, the world in one place.
The world in one place.
Yeah, the world in one place. Whatever, man. It's a bunch of BS.
What's wrong with that?
Bro,
right, no, we ain't doing that.
No, bro, listen.
I mean, it's a melting pot.
Bro,
you feel me?
Bro, let me explain something to you.
The world in one place. I like that. I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm not going to knock it, but just because you have a slogan doesn't mean that's what it is. It's the exact opposite. It's the world, but it's segregated. Upper Darby is segregated like hell, bro. Upper Darby is segregated. Upper Darby is segregated. Upper Darby is segregated. Okay? All right. I don't want nobody to sit up here and you can, I wish somebody would, because tomorrow I'll go make a video and I'll prove you wrong. So please don't try me. Please don't try me. Please don't try me. I know my neighborhood. Right. Okay? What I know about Chester is that, and I'm going to use this as an example. When I buried that, helped that Muslim brother bury his father and his mother on the same day. Right. I came in between two different types of cultures in Chester,
Right.
but those two cultures
Came together.
came together at a time where a family
Needed it.
needed.
Right.
It's that same inspiration that I wish Chester would have in all of its endeavors, working together.
We look out for our own.
I know.
And
see,
when
we're all
it's needed, when it's over needed. I'm not going to say needed.
Mhm.
When it's over needed, when people need support, when people need a shoulder to cry on, when people need help, we offer help. We are a community
bro.
more than anything.
Listen,
It's just the way we bring the community together when it's not a celebration. You feel me? Like a lot of people, like I didn't go out for homecoming this year. You
Mhm.
feel me? Because I was tired.
Right.
I was, and I knew I had a whole lot of tents and all that stuff to do. I said, man, I need to chill. It's gonna be a good day to chill. I ain't got my daughter. You feel me? I'm relaxed, right? And I did. And I stayed now. A couple people called me, yo, where you at? You feel me? I said, I'm chilling. You depressed? No, I'm not depressed. You feel me? I'm just chilling. You feel me? Like I didn't. My daughters are grown enough to be out there.
Absolutely.
And I don't like hanging where my kids hang.
That's right.
You feel me? Like it's just
like people. I'm saying it's because like I don't like people know that I'm around my kids and stuff like that, and like I'll be around the post.
Right.
I don't hang out with my kids either.
Right. So I let them have it. I told them this the only year I'm giving it to y'all. Y'all can have it this year. You feel me? I'll see y'all next year. I'll be out there, and I need y'all to be on your P's and Q's.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
But for me, there was a lot of positivity being shown towards classes, and it was the after that kind of threw me.
Well, you know what they say when the sun goes down,
even I'm saying for the community, it was good. It was the way our people are handled.
Well, hold on before we get to the people before we get to the people that are handled.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to say it's Chester. We're gonna be honest about some stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest with each other. Okay? No, bro. You gotta ask for a parlay. You gotta ask for a parlay. Because people are emotionally charged, and rightfully so.
Right.
Okay? And I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but let's give it a time frame.
Okay.
Okay? Let's talk about the young lady on the railroad tracks.
Okay.
Okay.
Which ones? The ones that was all the way up on the railroad tracks, or the babe that was hanging off the side?
Both. Let's talk, bro. Hold on, bro. Is that not a public safety concern?
It is.
Okay, hold on. Okay, we're talking about afterwards, right?
Right.
And we're talking about having a conference, right?
Right.
And we're talking about how people are handled, right? But we also have to talk about the responsibility of people handling themselves. That's not a good look. I understand it's fun. I understand it's exciting. I get it. It's a thrill.
Right.
And I don't want to hear the whataboutisms of, what about white people when they do that? You're not white. Please don't do that to me. But you cause, because it's called cause and effect.
Right.
It's called cause and effect.
Right.
If you cause a situation, it's going to have an effect.
Right.
And depending upon the severity of the cause, it will have like or heightened effects. Hanging off of a railroad trestle is not a good look. I don't care what nobody says, bro. That's not cute. That's not what Chester Homecoming is about. You could have safely done that on a parked car. You could have done that safely on somebody's stage.
So when the Eagles win the Super Bowl and people are climbing poles,
and bro, I've been to the parades, bro.
Right.
I've been to Flyers parades. Right. I've been to Phillies parades. I've been to all of that. Okay. And yes, individuals who are overly stimulated,
right,
overly intoxicated, it happens. But
that.
again, let's go with this. What if that young lady had fell?
Okay, she would have fell.
Okay, no, I know she. See, hold on. I know she would have fell. So now here we go. Here we go with the responders.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
She would have fell.
Right. People would have moved out the way.
People would have moved out the way.
People would have picked her up and tried to move.
No, nobody would pick her up and move her because you got a lot of CNAs and everything like that come out here and say don't move her. Don't touch her. Okay. So now you need a response.
Right. Police was right there.
Hold on, not just police. You need EMT.
EMT wasn't there.
Okay, right, but you need them to come.
Right.
That means that what do the police have to do? They have to cordon off the scene because now there's an accident, there's trauma, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Because, listen, and before anybody says anything.
We're putting a hat on a monkey that's not in the room. The girl didn't fall.
No. I'm just saying. Okay. Hold on. I'm saying this.
Right.
But I'm not saying she didn't fall. But,
what if she did?
But P, why do we put ourselves in situations where these things get called into question as opposed to the thousands of people that were partying safely, the thousands of people that are partying safely, being safe, P, because that's what we keep saying.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so here's the thing. So now, hold on. Attention is drawn to that, right?
Right.
Attention is drawn to that.
Okay.
We got people had to obviously coax her down and say, "Hey, that's dangerous. Come on down.
Right.
Come on, come on down."
Yeah.
Because why? Because now the public safety is the people. The people are self-governing. The people are saying, "Yes, we don't want this to be something traumatic." Right. So, hey, young lady, we know you're having a good time. Please come back to us. Please come back to the village.
Right.
Please come back to safety.
Right.
Okay, that's the mindset. Okay, that's what the mindset has to be.
What would you say to solve that? What, security be there and flashlights on her and tell her to get down?
I'm not saying turn it into a Batman moment.
Right.
But this is why you have the forum, the post homecoming conference.
Right. So you
to address things like that.
But you have security. So to address it, that's the only way you could address it is to have a couple.
Again, there are. I can't say that because again, everybody's going to have their point of view about whether you need security.
Right.
Or whether you need.
Nothing wrong with having.
I'm not. Listen. Listen. I've had events where I've had to pay $1 million insurance, bro.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, I've had events where I've had brothers.
Had to pay for $1 million.
Yes. Oh yeah. I paid. Yeah, I paid for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I paid for that.
It wasn't $1 million though.
No. Right. It's $1 million insurance, but you pay the premium.
Right.
Okay. And the premium's like anywhere between $300 to $600. Okay.
Yep.
Depending on what it is, but it's guaranteed insurance. If anything happens, blah, 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 you have that amount in the coverage because of the crowd size that you may anticipate having. Okay. That's what that's about. When I threw events, I anticipated that I may have certain hiccups. I anticipate that because, again, when I talk about understanding people, I understand that you're not going to get, Mr. Johnny Dudley Do-Right to come to your event. Sometimes you're going to get, Craig and them, they're going to say, "Oh, what's up?" Da, 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 da. Sometimes that's going to happen, but you have to be prepared for that, okay? We have to learn, and again, folks, I'm saying this very gently. We have to learn how to be proactive instead of reactive.
Absolutely.
Okay? And this is why I'm saying this is a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity for Chester, its citizens, the folks that are involved with the homecoming planning, all of the vendors, to have a feedback session and get these frustrations out while they're hot.
Right.
While they're hot. Because if you let them cool off, you know what happens with hot feelings? You let them cool off, right?
Turns into resentment.
Yep. And it festers.
Now you don't like a person.
Now you start beef with this person gossiping about this. Yeah, you said this about this person. I don't like this politician now. Because you know why? Because we're so much into our feelings that we want to have these conversations, but we don't want to be chided, chastised, made to feel it's not important. Everything is relevant. Somebody could come near, a kid can come near, yeah, I stepped on gum, and That's relevant. Hey, that's relevant. You know what I mean? That's relevant. That's something that's an experience that happened to somebody that caused a certain negative emotion. Now, that one person will go back and say, yeah, don't go to the homecoming because they got gum all over the place. I'm just using it as an exaggeration. But that's how it happens. That's the spirit of it. One person with a negative feeling about not being heard, about something that Chester owns, Everybody in Chester owns the homecoming. It does not belong to the school exclusively. They run it. They package it.
It's for the school. It's for the kids.
Right. It's
the
for. Hold on.
community,
It's
right?
for them. But when I say it's owned by Chester, if you graduated from Chester High, you got family from Chester High.
Right.
You have a attachment
To the homecoming.
to the homecoming.
Absolutely.
You have an attachment to it. And that's where our powers that be, our leaders, our officials have to recognize that and use that as a positive to have this tough conversation that needs to be had about what happened post homecoming. And if you don't take care of it this week, you're going to lose out on how to fix things prior to next year.
People don't like to fix things, though. They like it broken. We know this. You know this. You're in Upper Darby. People like things broken. And because the complaint can always be to cancel and not to do or to show up because it's broken, because we're not talking about anything. I agree with you. We definitely need to come together. We definitely need to talk, but we need to, and we need to do it this week or next week or by the end, before November sets in. Right? Let's talk about all
It needs
the
to be done
actions.
before. It needs to be done before Halloween, because by the time you get to Halloween, you're into your next event.
Right.
You talk and by that time you're back into let's do something for the kids. You know, your mind is on that, so now you don't want to deal with that. That's why I'm saying
they don't want to deal with it now.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. The greatest predictor of future failure is current success. It is. I've dealt with this in my professional career. I'm not just saying things to attribute them to a situation and come with these, quotes or whatever. These are not quotes. These are actual mechanisms in business that have been tried true since the dawn of business. And it's a reality that I accept. I know a lot of people can't accept the reality, but guess what's going to happen? Reality is going to smack you in the butt anyway. Anyway. So you can argue with me, not like me. Oh, hey, OG don't know what he's talking about, this, that, and the third. I've been a part of successful openings, closings. I've run a successful business myself. I've done successful catering. And like I said, I'm semi-retired, so I'm out of the business. But I haven't failed in my endeavors in making money or helping people make money because I take the emotion out of it. I'm being very honest. I take the emotion out of it. It does not matter to me how you feel about something when something's broken. My job, basically, I was a troubleshooter. Like I said, I was an analyst and a troubleshooter. I was sent, put on planes, put on trains, put up in hotels to go into units and figure out what the hell's going on. That was my job. My job was to report back, say who, what, where, why, and then come up with a solution for it, and then implement it. Hiring, firing, reprimands, write-ups, all that stuff. I had no emotion about it. You didn't want to do the job? Like I told people, I got a stack of applications, and I would literally go in and take the stack of applications, come out, sit at a table, and call people right in front of right in front of them. Do the interviews right in front of them loudly. I will replace you. Why? Because the business demands and the customer base demands your best, your quality. It demands that. When people spend their money with confidence, they spend it with confidence, fam. You know what I mean? You got a lot of people out here with disposable incomes, bro. Some people don't have kids, and they making top dollar, okay? So when they come into town, your funky attitude is going to stop you from making money. I don't care who you are. I've seen people with the best high-tech, high-notch best plate, best chef, best this, da da da. But the walk in and the host don't like you, and you walk in and the server don't like you, and you walk in and your food come out cold, da da da. Over. I want to say something to all of the restaurant businesses here in Chester. There's something called the Delco Restaurant Review. Don't get on that page. I'm dead serious. Don't get on that page.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because the admins over there and the people on that page, all they want to do is come in and dog restaurants and talk about this and talk about that. It's a lot of people's favorites. Chester's a hidden gem. Let them come up here and eat and let them go back and tell the people and let your word of mouth be your thing. Don't advertise on that Delco Restaurant Review. Don't do it. Don't put yourself over there. Don't put your business over there. I'm dead serious. Check out different avenues, posting citizens of Delco, posting Upper Darby Township, posting citizens and residents of Upper Darby Township. You know what I mean? Send stuff my way, on my page, whatever. But yeah, stay away from Delco Restaurant Review, Chester, because you guys have a lot of great restaurants here. But on that page, a lot of people there are just wackadoodles who just like to go to restaurants and find something wrong with restaurants or whatever. And when people come in and give praises of anybody's restaurant, somebody always has to find something negative to say about them. They just can't never say, hey, I've never tried that before. Or, you know, if they did have a bad experience, just move on. Let the restaurant flourish. Let the restaurant, you know, keep making its money. Like I said, I'm very partial to that because in this business, I've been in this business ever since I was a teen. Started off as a dishwasher. So when I hear people talking about people's food services establishment and they're pretty popular and they've been around for a while or whatever, I just consider it hate. Like I automatically just go to hate. I do. I automatically go to hate because if a restaurant serves 100 people and gets one complaint, yes, something could have gone wrong or whatever, but if you don't give that restaurant an opportunity to fix it, see what I'm talking about? Anything can go wrong in the restaurant industry. Food can come out cold. You know what I mean? It's not what they particularly ordered. They may not like the meal that they ordered. They may not like it. They might take two bites out of it and go, hey, listen, it's not what I thought it is. You know, that's fine. To me, that's fine. You can order something else off the menu, no problem. You know what I mean? I can do that one time. I can do that one time. But just like any business, if you don't deal with the dissent, and homecoming is a very big thing here in Chester, you got to deal with it. And I understand that there's people that don't want to sit down and don't want to change or whatever, but this thing is going to change on you anyway because it's evolving because you got a younger group of people growing up in Chester homecoming now that are going to take people's places. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like this is an evolution. You should want change. You should want the feedback for positive changes. You should want that. And these are all the things I'm saying to you guys positively. Let's get to the negativity. Hi, Chester Police Department. Mm-hmm. How you doing, Chester Police Department? Hello, Commissioner. Hello, Mayor Roots. How you doing? How you doing, guys? You know, I don't talk behind you guys' backs, okay? You know I will come to City Hall. You know I will come over there to Chester Police Plaza. You know I'll come over there because I've been there. I've been over there when we had our event, and I praised them for the actions during the summer of, you know, not having, you know, the homicides totals that have been in previous summers. I left my praise there. I've met with the mayor when he was doing his interview about the same subject, and I gave him my praise there about, you know, how he went about it and the way that he morally used the to be able to tell the kids basically the curfew, there we go, to basically morally use the curfew so that parents would parent. And I thought that was a good move by him and a great decision on the administration. But Mayor, the buck stops with you with the police department. And there are issues in your community whether the police department and let me back up for a second. Because anytime people start talking about the police department, they think that it's a blanket statement attributed to every officer that serves, and it is not. In the same way that we don't want to be stereotyped in when someone from our community does things harshly or commits a crime or anything like that, I don't want to make a blanket statement against every officer. Okay, that is not the case. Even in where I live in Upper Darby Township, I enjoy a very great relationship with the police where I live. A very great relationship. I'm dead serious. Like I don't have those issues. Like this past Saturday, had some guests up at the post, and the cops had to pull somebody over that was in an accident. He was like, "Oh man, Rich, they go to cops, man." I was like, "Which one is it?" So I looked over. I was like, "Oh, that's my guy." He's like, "Huh?" I said, "That's my guy." Walked over, shook hands with him. He's like, "Hey, Richie, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? Da da da." And he was like, "Man," I said, "It's better to know the police than to not know them." Yes. Okay, I understand that. Listen, watch this. Here we go. Point of view. You have your reasons for not having any type of interaction with the police. That's not what I'm telling you to do. That's not what I'm telling. That's not what I'm telling you to do. But obviously, there are issues with certain named officers. Okay, like I said, we're going to be honest here. Okay, honesty is always the best policy. And for you, Mayor Roots, respectfully, okay, the community has been naming this officer time after time after time after time again. You really think that it's not worth a credible look at what he's doing and what he's not representing for Chester Police Department? This man needs to actually have another type of evaluation.
Psychological.
If he has not had one recently, because the citizens are all complaining about the same behavior with the one specific officer. The same behavior. And we all know who it is, because he's always on video. And he always doing some dumb stuff on video. And he always saying some dumb stuff on video. And everybody's got a story to tell about this man, and then none of it is never, ever good. None of it is ever good. Every person that I've seen say with this officer's name in it has always been, he on some BS. He on this booze. He on this. He on this. He on this type time. He on this type time. He on this type time. Mayor Roots, if somebody, and you, come on, bro, you from the streets, stop playing. You from the streets.
You talking about me?
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Stefan.
No. He from the what?
He from the streets. He know, but bro, stop. I need people to need to understand something.
I ain't saying anything. Why you say stop?
See, people think that just because you have an education don't mean that you don't have an education from the streets. That street stuff comes out from time to time. No, trust me, it does. What very limited access that you've had to it, you know the common sense we're talking about from the lower level.
I'm not saying he's not from the streets.
Okay.
He's from Chester.
Okay, yeah, he's from Chester. So he done seen it too. You done seen it too. Brother, Mayor, excuse me, I didn't mean to call you brother, Mayor, because this is official. This is respectful. Okay? Your Honor. The man is a problem. The people have spoken. I don't care what his lieutenant say. I don't care what his sergeant say. I don't care what his captain say. I don't care what the FOP say.
He's protected. You can't really do anything, right? You get behind
that blue line. Okay, that's fine. Listen, that's fine. Listen, bro. I understand police protection, but ain't nobody gonna live in fear of that cat.
No, ain't nobody living in fear.
Ain't nobody, no, but right. But see, here's the thing. This is the post conversation that we need to have, because always, this one particular officer is always at the forefront of some BS.
I mean, so for me, I believe, and we're going to talk about this Saturday. I'm going to do Revolutionary Miles, but we're talking about it now, right?
Right.
The types of training that are given to officers, police officers,
Mm-hmm.
the types of people that end up becoming officers, right? They go into the military for a little bit, they get free from it. You were in war. Like we're really coming off. It hasn't been that long since the last time somebody was in another country shooting at somebody, right? So when you become a police officer and you were in war, like it takes some time before you realize that you're not in war anymore. Now you are here to do two things: protect and serve whatever community you are in. The way you break down and what's the word when you want to bring a situation,
De-escalate.
De-escalate. The way you de-escalate a situation is not the same way you de-escalate a situation in war, right? So, talk to people, communicate, but I get it, right? You don't think we understand communication because we're yelling. You don't always have to match a person's energy, right? You don't always have to yell. So, I think training is imperative for our police officers. Also, you feel me? We need police officers from our community, protecting our community. If they're not from here, if they never went to school here, if they never grew up here, if they don't know the neighborhoods, if they don't know the grandmas, if they're not walking, and you're a cop, if you're not walking through your beat, like walking through and talking and seeing people and seeing what's going on, then you don't know what's going on out there. So I say community policing is important. And I've been saying this for the last...
And again, so
Boy.
listen, I agree with you, bro, because I can tell you right now, I firmly believe in community. Even before the current superintendent of Upper Darby became the current superintendent, everybody knows the history of Mr. Mike Chitwood. Okay?
Right.
Good, bad, or indifferent,
Right.
he was a police officer.
Right.
Okay? Good, bad, or indifferent, he was a cop.
Right.
He was a cop.
Right.
You knew that.
Right.
Criminals knew that.
Right.
Okay? Criminals knew he was a cop. Is that to say that they did not have any instances of brutality or people being, disrespected over their rights? I'm sure of it.
Right.
Because it's a thin line.
Right. A very.
Okay?
Very.
It's a thin line.
Very.
Something could be said at the heat of the moment.
Right.
Cop could be like, something happened, they're human. Okay?
Right.
And this is where, again, I'm not advocating. I need people to understand that if you're going to deal with people, you have to remember that they're human too. And that humans fail daily. Fail daily. Fail at their jobs, fail at their relationships, fail daily. Okay? But what do we do about the failures to communicate? Again, are we going to these meetings? Are we? I'm not saying you, P, because I know you go. I know you've gone to the meetings. I know you know the players. I know you, not you. I'm talking to the general audience, people that are here this tomorrow, whatever. Because I got the same problem in Upper Darby, bro. I got a whole bunch of sugar, honey, iced tea talkers on Facebook. I got some people that would love to go. They're elderly. Okay, I don't expect my elders to go. Okay, I have some people, they have family, they got nobody to watch the kids. I told them bring the kids anyway. Kids need to learn. Kids need to learn the government. They got to grow up in it. I'm dead serious. Bring your children to these meetings because you got to talk to them about the future anyway. Chester's in a good spot because guess what? You have all black leadership, primarily. All black leadership. So if your children aren't growing up understanding what black leadership is, whether it's in your house, on your block, or from the officials that you elect, this is why Chester gets into the situations that it does every cycle, because nobody knows what anybody is doing, and then people tell you to be quiet about asking what people are doing.
Oh, no, don't be quiet.
Oh, no. I'm telling this generation, you better speak up. You better not let people talk for you. You better find out what this person is like that's going to represent you, what their background is. We've had, in Upper Darby, drunks. We've had people that have been...
You said drunks.
Yeah, drunks. Drunks.
Oh.
Drunks. Sitting on our council.
That's what happens.
Bro, they ain't no that's what happened. Here we go. There we go. That's what happened. That's what happened.
That's what happens when you're not. When you're not. Listen, when you're not.
Bro,
like you
bro.
said, you want people to ask questions and figure out the people that they. This is what happens when you don't ask questions. This is what happens when you believe the person next to you, or the person standing up top. Which way do you think leadership goes in a community? Does it go from the community to the leadership, or from leadership to the community?
Leadership actually starts in the community.
Right. So, the first person you should go to should be what? Your ward leader or your block captain?
Your block captain.
Right. So you go to your block captain. Your block captain then takes that to who? The ward leader?
The block captain should take concern that in a perfect world,
right,
the block captain should take it to the ward leader. Okay.
Right. And then the ward leader
should now take it to
whoever's in charge of his ward, the council person
that's in
charge
in their ward, in their precinct,
right,
in their district.
Right.
Okay.
So that's how communication should
be. So council.
But there are a lot of people that don't know that.
They don't understand the process. But here's the thing. Again, this is where you have to be willing to be taught the process. It's nothing against you if you don't know it. You got to learn it. And this is what this is what I'm gonna say. I understand some of the people that are 30, 34, 35. You ain't trying to hear that. I get it. I know.
Why ain't you trying to hear that?
Because you've been lied to in your generation. They've been lied to in their generation, and that's the general consensus. That's the general consensus.
I think we've all been lied to.
But we've got a stronger skin because of our survival. Because the way we survive, bro. Okay. We have a stronger skin. Okay, because we didn't have nothing. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any insulators. Okay, when you fell, you fell. You ain't have no helmet. What helmet did you have riding a bike, bro? None. What shin guards did you have riding a bike, bro? None. Okay? So come on.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, I got hit by a car, broke my leg.
Man, come on, man. I got thrown out of a second-story window. Bro. Hit the car.
Oh, I don't want to talk about windows.
Listen, listen, what?
Boy.
Are you kidding? Listen, Evel Knievel was everybody's hero back in the day, bro. We was jumping stuff with the banana seat bikes.
Was he?
Okay?
Right.
Like we were making, hold on, kids. We made our own skateboards.
Right.
We made our own skateboards, our own go-karts. There was no electric, nothing, bro. We went and robbed them shopping carts, knocked them wheels off of them Jones, got some big old 2-penny nails, knocked them in some 2x4s, made the swivel John, went and got somebody's seat from off of, from a used car lot that ain't being used, hook up our own little cage, find the nearest hill.
Right. We out.
And we got rope. Hold on. Rope.
Right.
No
real
steering wheel. Rope.
Rope.
Rope. And that's why I'm saying we're tougher because of those experiences. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's not to say that generation is weak.
Right.
But it's just that their life has been about indecisiveness, has been after 9/11.
Right.
So a lot of things that open up to them, they did not go through a lot of the horrors that we did. We went through the horrors of war.
Right.
We went through the horrors of when I say true racism.
Right.
When I say true racism, okay? I understand there's racism today, but when I talk about true racism, I'm talking about when somebody got up in your face and said, N-word, I don't like you.
Right.
Or what you looking at, N-word, okay? Y'all don't see this. Y'all ain't have none of that. Y'all ain't have none of that.
Let's still ramp it down.
No, I know it's hold on. I know it's rampant, bro. But I guarantee you this. I know at an age where I was 21, where somebody could say that to me and I could do nothing about it.
Right.
As opposed to somebody being 21 right now and they getting dog walked and videoed and not getting arrested. Because people use that word so prevalently, and it was because it was so acceptable that you could degrade somebody with that word, that you couldn't fight back against it because the odds were against you because of the environment. Nowadays, because we have come into a certain environment where we find it culturally unacceptable and we can fight back about it, these guys right here want to say, oh, it's... Come back with me to 1975. Come back with me to 1970. All right, go back to your grandparents' age of 65 and 60, and you tell me if you can survive that age where they openly were called names, openly kicked, openly this, and you mean to tell me that you can't come together with your own black people and sit down and have a conversation to squash your issues and grow? We can't do that. I want to know, Chester, are you incapable of setting your pride to the side to deal with the issues, and hold on, with the police, commissioner, mayor, and anybody else? We have to resolve this issue with your police who are not from here and the relationship that they have with citizens who are historically here and have been generationally and are not going anywhere. We understand that some of your cops may use this as a stepping stone to go to other places, that they cut their teeth here a couple years, blah, 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 and then, and they got to change and they go someplace else, blah, blah, blah. But what P is trying to say for a lot of people who did not understand it, I'm going to say this to you. The ability for people to govern themselves is the strength of that community. Right. There are so many other predominantly black cities. I'm not talking about Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. I'm talking about other towns, and you can look them up, predominantly black, where the crime rate is low, where the cops are from that community, where the doctors are from that community, where the nurses, where the pediatrician, where the EMTs, where the fire personnel are from that town. And it flourishes because everyone has a vested interest in the success of their town.
Say it again.
Everyone has a vested interest in the success of their town. I can look it up right now. I can go get one of the top 5 safest black cities, blah, 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 and read you down their stuff, blah, 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 and I'm gonna tell you where it comes from. But I'm gonna give you a better one. Okay? I'm not gonna say too much about the police. Again, I believe that the mayor should answer this very quickly while it's hot. I believe that the mayor and the police commissioner need to resolve this issue while it's hot. Don't go. Let's get it cool down a couple of days and give people. No.
But see how you mentioned the young girl standing on the train tracks and the other young girl up high on the train tracks. That gives that's a scapegoat. Almost.
I'm not scapegoating it.
Right?
I didn't. No, bro. I said. Let's
I'm
deal
just
with.
saying you brought it up.
No, I'm bringing up the officer now. Hold on. Did I not? I put everything in sequence. Right. I'm not attributing blame.
Okay.
I'm saying this. If we're talking about public safety and the police, right, we have to encompass everything that happened that could have been a detriment or deterrent from the success of that homecoming.
Right.
Same thing. We need accountability with the police, and they need their training, and they need to know that they're supposed to spray the mace at the ground and not in people's faces.
That's how they're trained.
Okay, no, hold on. Right, but hold on. If we're going to talk about it, right, like I said, it's a public safety concern. Right. They're in charge of public safety. The people are from here.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Let's also talk about the fact that Chester's Homecoming needs some safety ambassadors during these events, not security. Security is like a deterrent. You need safety ambassadors, people with calm, level-headed training to de-escalate and diffuse situations. And can I tell you something, bro? From what I've seen out of Chester, y'all got that homegrown. There are people in Chester that are not police, that are not politicians, that a lot of people respect off of name and face value, bro. Right. Those should be your ambassadors. Right. You already got it. Right. I don't need nobody. No, you already got it. You got people that will walk into a crowd and hear that name and know, hold on, oh, that's, that's family, that's blood, that's da-da-da-da, and will chill the F out.
Right.
That's something that needs to be added to the table. So when you have those type of safety ambassadors, whoever they are, that minimizes the need for the public safety concern of the police, because that's the insulator. So, Mayor Roots and Commissioner, y'all can get y'all stuff together while we as a people govern ourselves. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. I'm not saying that they not need to be dealt with, but let's deal with ourselves. We have viable options. We have viable options. Instead of taking that negative energy and putting it towards negativity, let's take all of that negativity, turn that poison into medicine, and come up with things on our own, because Chester's that creative.
It is.
Bro, come on. Chester's that creative. I've seen you guys do impossible stuff.
We will continue to do impossible stuff.
Then again, folks, from the bottom of my heart, this is love. Because you don't hear me saying, I'm not ripping anybody. I'm just being very honest about things that have been put out there on film, things that have been said in comments, commentary, things that have been reported on. I didn't attribute blame. This is not a blame situation. But yes, there's an accountability issue that we have to deal with, that Chester needs to deal with, that the mayor needs to deal with, that the commissioner needs to deal with. It's an accountability issue that the people, what I see, 98% of the comments is an accountability issue.
I mean, it will continue to be an accountability issue because they feel as though who can hold them accountable. And at the end of the day, it's the community.
Yes.
Right? And if the community continues to allow things to happen and allow things to get swept underneath the rug, right? Because of a certain person getting arrested, because a certain person does this, they don't deserve fair and equal and just treatment. Everybody deserves to be treated fair, equally, and just, right? Nobody deserves to be beat up just because a cop had to run or chase or do whatever, right? Like, I remember when I was coming up, the saying was, if you're going to run, you better get away. Because if you don't get away, they're going to whip your ass, right? Yeah. And for forever, that was in my head, to the point where when I saw something happen, I said, oh, he ain't get away. But even then, thinking about it, I was like, no, that shouldn't be the case, because if we whitewash it and make it a little white kid running from the fucking police, he ain't gonna get beat like that.
No.
You feel me? He ain't gonna get.
Listen, I can tell you, I've been shot at by police. I had a cop take a nightstick to the back of my knees, bro. Like, I've been taking on a couple of rides without the seatbelt.
Right. I've been beat up by police.
Yeah.
Right? Took it all the way to federal court.
Yeah, Philly cops ain't a joke. Huh?
Chester police whooped my ass for no
cops,
reason.
yeah,
I was bringing up a fight. They pulled up, and I said, I'm leaving off the corner. They said I was harassing the lady, and I knew the lady. I was trying to get her to come to court, but I was locked up. So they won their case. You feel me? But still, like, I know what Chester police can do, right? Especially when they're unmonitored, untethered to our community, right? When they don't have any love for you, when it's just a job. Right. And when it's just a job, their duty on their job is to make it home safely. So they don't care how they treat you as long as they make it home safely. So I had a conversation with a Chester police officer, and he was saying how they're trained to spray the ground, right, with the mace. I said, bro, I see video of people getting shot in the face.
Oh, they came up that video. They shot him in the face like they was shooting, like it was raid, like they was spraying roaches, bro.
Like yo, why you spraying them like that?
Yeah, it was very indiscriminate. It was
even
not
in
controlled.
that situation, being somebody that was out there, that situation was different than when I was out there, because at that point they could not have walked. It was no room to walk out there. You feel me? So if it cleared that much. And nobody is really out there. Now you're just arguing with people, going into houses and doing. It's like, why are you arguing? Like, you looking to do something to somebody. You're looking to make an example out of somebody. You're looking to beat somebody up, mace somebody. And then it's like, why are you looking for that? Are you upset that your high school doesn't party like this? Are you upset at the fact that we can come together? And you was like, and they try to demean it. Oh, it's just a high school. So what, bro? If you went through, if you survived Chester High School, If you made it through all 4 years of Chester High School, that's a celebration, bro. You feel me?
You know what? If I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this. Some of these officers don't know what to say out of their mouths, and excuse me, Mayor Roots, Commissioner, you can listen to this very intently, okay? Some of these officers don't know how to talk to people. They come in very hot. They don't come in listening. They don't come in observing. They come in very reactive. Okay? Radioactive, reactive.
Boy.
I know that you get the stories and you get their side. And I know that you hear the arguments and you hear this and it's compiled with this and this happened before and this happened before and this happened before and this happened before. When is it going to be honest dialogue between Chester Police and its citizens? Honest dialogue. And when I say honest, I've been here for several rallies over dead children over the years. Remember that big banner that they had with the names on it, bro?
Yeah.
Remember that rally?
Right.
When that year when Chester was losing kids almost every other day?
Right.
I was here for that, folks. Like I said, I've been around since 2018.
The radio station was started over my brother. Right. What got me into radio was my brother was shot, and it was like so many people just being mad. And I'm like, yo, if y'all mad, like we need to centralize our anger, our frustrations, and point it at a direction. Right. We can't. No one man can do this,
no.
Right? So it's like we need to come together to talk about the issues that we have, and then when we get the issues that we have, then we point it at a direction. Once it's all pointed at the right direction correctly, it'll work. But if we're not having these conversations with the mayor, if we're not having these conversations with our block captain, if we're not having these conversations with our ward leader, so our ward leader can then go to whatever city council member has his ward and talk to him about these things, then we don't have anything at all.
The ward leaders. And I want to say this. I want to say this of our public service officials. You have to have a listening ear rather than try to explain away what the government narrative is. Because a lot of times when people come to you with their concerns, that's exactly what your job is. Your job is to listen.
Boy.
Listen. I mean, like, we get it. You're knowledgeable. We get it. You've done this for a long time. We get it. You know people. We get it. And you know there are some things I know that are in your wheelhouse that you can do at your level and get results for people, and that's great. But the biggest concern that Chester has with all of his public officials is that you don't listen. And you have to take that feedback. I know this for a fact where I live, that none of my public officials give a damn about what the residents say. The taxpayers, they don't care. This was the uniqueness of Chester. You're black. Chester's a black city. So if you get one black person out, it's just going to be another black person coming in. You know, so you don't have to worry about color. You don't have to worry about this because...
But it's going to change.
Right.
That is going to change.
Yeah, it is.
And you can't blame it for changing.
No, not at all. But again, if you don't center your mind around that the only thing that is constant in life is change, you're going to get left behind.
Yes, you are.
Okay? So when I have this conversation, folks, listen, I'll be the first person. If you say, hey, Rich, you know, we want you there, you know, to talk, and listen, I'll show up for it. I'll show up for the meeting. I'll sit back and analyze what's said. I understand the way that these people talk. I know how to sit down and help, you know, write some guidelines that need to be for this event from the citizens' point of view, because I need to say this to Chester Alumni High School. Remember, the community are the consumers. Without them, you don't make no money. And Chester's homecoming is a pretty penny.
We would like to know how much money is made.
Listen, bro.
And where's that money being spent?
If listen,
I had this conversation about
bro,
2
you could
years
do
ago.
it. You could do a head count. Hold on.
Right.
You could do a head count. A head count. And start at $20. So if you have,
right,
okay,
right.
and just start at $20.
Right. I bought 2 tickets. I didn't even go.
Right.
So.
You know, let's just start at $20.
How many people
per
donated?
head?
Right. How many people donated? How many people didn't show up? How many people didn't go to the game and still bought tickets?
And still bought tickets. You know, my thing is that like a lot of other places, they will say we raised $11,000 for this.
I mean, they do that. I'm sure if you go to the school board meeting, because it's Chester and then it's the school board, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to the school board meeting and you ask the question, and I told somebody yesterday when they were talking about it, I was like, no. Like, Chester is, we're in the receivership.
Mm-hmm.
The city and the school district.
Mm-hmm.
Chester has been, like the back faucet has been left on so that other people that knew where it was could drink from it,
yep.
right? While we were suffering of thirst, right? So now that we have homecoming, and I understand how people feel, right? Homecoming, when it first started, was free,
yep.
right? Nobody, you either buy a ticket to the game, you don't buy a ticket to the game, that's cool, right? But thanks to the people that are in power now, you feel me, and our athletic director, LaDonte Bell, who was the head coach of the football team, right, who loves the kids, who loves all sports, right, who sees growth in this, said we gotta take this over, right? Because if we don't take it over, we'll lose it.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes.
That's what's gonna end up happening.
Yes.
Something's gonna happen, right? And I love everybody that shows up. Homecoming energy is different than any other energy that pours through this city.
Yeah.
Right? Is more appreciative. Even enemies are next to each other or just walk past each other and don't say anything. You feel me? Like
it's the nostalgia, and it's the one and only true time that there is a universal connection of Chester residents and you know, people who have lived here all their lives. This one connection, the one connection that all Chester people can agree on is their high school.
Right.
It's their high school. And can I say something real quick for whoever said something about, oh, this ain't college, this ain't, you know, this was an officer that said that? Or supposedly or something like that? Or somebody saying that that you know, that this isn't, that this is just high school?
Right.
Okay.
I'm sure that's how they feel.
Oh, you know what?
You feel me?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
There's a lot of people who passed away that didn't get to graduate.
Right.
There's a lot of people whose biggest life accomplishment
is graduating.
Right.
Right.
Never belittle the experience of somebody's righteous celebration of their life.
Damn.
That's what I'm speaking in love today, babe. You hear me, right?
I hear you.
You don't see me raising my voice or nothing like that, right?
I don't see it because
right?
there's no real reason to.
Because there's no reason to.
I'd say I'm tired of the arguing and the fighting and the frustration. I'm tired. I'm not blaming anyone, right? Because I get it, right? Me personally, I am tired of the fighting. I am tired of the way they treat us. I am tired of being a second-class citizen in my city. I'm tired of being disrespected. You feel me? So it's like, yo, we could be tired, but we have to be able to point it at someone. We have to be able to talk to someone and hold somebody accountable from the leadership throughout this city, right? We need people to step up. If we need ward leaders, we need people to step up into their ward leader position. We need people to run for that. They need to be voted in. Okay, cool, no problem. But we need this level of communication from block captains. They started a block captain program. All right, so where are the ward leaders?
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Who started that block captain program?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, some. I think no. I think it was started. I'll give to Mayor Roots, right? That was you know.
You know, it's just
you ain't shit.
No. Listen, bro.
Shit.
Listen, bro.
Right.
Listen, bro. Listen, bro. I need to take a look at that program.
Why?
Why? Nobody has ever talked about a block captain's program until I did in Upper Darby. And I explained it. I explained the block captain program that uh, Curtis Jones had put together a program in Philly.
Right.
And the way the block captain program worked is that selected individuals voted on by the block,
Right.
Person that's responsible, comes in and they get trained on community relations.
Right.
Okay? Understanding their community, blah, blah, blah. This person has no powers. Okay? They have no arrest powers or whatever, but they need to be deputized by the police commissioner so that way they can coordinate on the public safety side. Okay? So if something happens on that particular block, or if that particular block needs resources, the block can come and say, hey, Mrs. Jones, you're the block captain. We want to have a block cleanup on such and such a day. So instead of going through the processes of multiple people going and getting the permit or whatever, or have to go and get a petition for the block cleaning, the block captain vouches for the block. Hey, coming over to Public Works, we're going to have a block cleaning on this block. Everybody's on it. We need your barriers up for the time that we're going to do the block cleaning from 9 to 12. And then they can do the petition separately for the block party to have the amplified sound and keep the block cut off. That you need a petition for. But you don't need a petition for a block cleaning. Understand? You just need to call for it, and everybody knows that you're going to have it. You put the posted materials up.
How many blocks there are in the city of Chester?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: if you start in a 3-block area, here's the pilot. You start in a 3-block area, okay, and then you reward the effort, okay, because people love competition naturally. So if they see another block being rewarded for being a clean block, somebody go, oh, what? They getting a party for being a clean block. I got a clean block over here too. Come over and take my picture. Here you go. Right. Friendly competition. Right. It's not people think that when you do something better than somebody that is demeaning the other person. No, the person just out-hustled you.
Right. So you got to out-hustle.
The person just worked harder than you. The person just had more energy and more of a vision to do something other than just be regular. Like, I couldn't imagine my life just being regular.
How does that feel?
Man, come on.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've never.
If we're so divinely made and inspired of God, then why would I want to be regular? I mean, like I hear people talk about that. Right. I'm divinely made and I'm blessed. I'm this. Right. Then how come you're not professing that? How come you're not letting your light shine? How come you're not pushing that strength
how come
up?
You're not sharing that energy with our children.
Exactly. Right? How come our children have no sense of the same value that we have?
That's a different conversation.
Well, that's a different conversation because I'll have that one too.
Right.
I'll have that one too. But I have to get to something, bro.
I know. I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your thing.
Thank you. I have to get to this. I have to get to this,
go
bro.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Okay.
All right.
I got to say goodbye to my brother P for a moment, and I hope that you're still with me. I hope that you're still with me here at cmpradio.net, the voice of Chester. My special guest opinion is myself, and my special guest opinion is for any of the residents of Philadelphia who are voting for district attorney. I am not endorsing the other candidate. That is not my intent. Katie Scott should be alive. That young lady who had a bright future in front of her, whose family, whose mother, whose father, whose cousins, aunts, uncles, who loved this young, bright, vibrant, smart, articulate woman should be alive. I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, the judge, oh, this. No, I want to let you know firsthand that I understand the policy of one Larry Krasner, District Attorney of Philadelphia. I know the policy here in Delco, too, that during COVID and beyond that, that district attorney's offices were catching people and releasing them back out into the public. Murderers, rapists, home invasions. I know this happened in Philadelphia because I have the paperwork, all of it. I got that whole man's life in a file that murdered my son. His whole life is in a file. He's going to do his time, and that file, whether I'm dead or alive, is going to be readily available to my descendants to ensure that he pays for that forever. That's not bitterness, folks. That's just what it is. That's what happens when you take something as precious as a life from people who love somebody more than they love themselves. And Larry Krasner, your policies of catch and release in Philadelphia has caused the murder of this young lady. You admitted to it, that you could have reinstated charges on that man, on that beast. Everybody knows that, yeah, if a victim doesn't show up for court, that person can still be held over based upon the evidence. Don't say you didn't have evidence. You had enough to hold them. So you had enough evidence. You got lazy. You lied about the timing, talking about you didn't wake up a judge when it was 3:47 p.m. when this man had his charges dropped and he was set free. The time date stamp with the judge in question is a lie. Now, I can say all this stuff about Larry Krasner. Larry Krasner ain't going to hear this, and Larry Krasner ain't going to care. Larry Krasner is not going to care about the fact that I had to go through therapy, that I had to sit back and watch people put their greedy hands on my son's lifeless body and make money off of it, that the city pays you for it, for the death of your child if they're murdered, that the funeral director was greedy because of his life insurance, that people look forward to people's death because they're going to get something out of it. That's what you left me with, Larry. You left me with a grandson, my blood heir. And I don't mind helping being a part of his life and being in his life, but I don't have a lot of time like I did with my son. So I may or may not get the full benefit of seeing him grow up into manhood because, not saying I have advanced age, but time is short for everyone and nothing's guaranteed. But you don't have to live with that, Larry. You don't deal with the fathers. You deal with the mothers. You console them. You deal with the women. You never deal with the men. The cousin, or I think the uncle of Kata Scott was at the press conference, but you had to be the person to read what the family sent and not the man who was there to represent for his family. That's how vain and narcissistic you are, that you didn't let the man who was presented by the family to read the family statement. You had to introduce him as, oh, he's just some family member, but I'm going to read the statement that comes from the mother and the father. How low is that? How callous is that? That you have to be the one, the center, front and center of this whole fiasco that you caused. So I want to say this to everyone in Philadelphia. If you listen to this podcast, see it on Facebook, if you see it on YouTube, if you see it on Instagram, anywhere, I can't tell you who to vote for. But I want you to think about all of the fathers who had to silently sit while they watched this man callously apologize for nothing. I want you to remember the mothers who still go through the trauma of clutching their womb. I want you to remember the brothers who don't get to grow up with their big brother anymore, who don't get to grow up with their little brothers anymore, their big sisters, their little sisters. When you think about voting, I want you to think about the people that can't vote, that were cut down by these switches, that were cut down by these home invasions, and then these people were let out. When you go into a courtroom, and I had to sit through the trial of Sean Robles, who murdered my son, I had to watch 15 different other cases. And when they read in the paperwork of these individuals, I don't need nobody to tell me that this person needed a second chance when they've been given 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different chances. And the reason why I say that is because I didn't get a chance. I wasn't given a second chance. I was given a 1 and a done. So Larry Krasner, I know you sleep well at night because you don't care. And like I said, I'm not endorsing the other candidate. That's not what I'm here for. But I want to say to Philadelphians, Katie Scott should be the reason why Larry Krasner should not be district attorney. Her life and her memory really depends upon you guys making the right decision and removing that stain from her life. Do not let the legacy of Larry Krasner be attached to the fiasco, to the bamboozled, the disruptive energy that he puts out like he cares. This man sucks his teeth more than any chick that I've ever talked to. So I know he's disingenuous. When he speaks, you can hear it in his voice. He don't mean it. He's a death dealer, not a DA. A death dealer. He deals in death. He has dealt in death. So, Philly, like I said, it's your choice. But again, I know this is Chester. Got love for Chester. Shout out to Chester. But what happened with this young lady and the circumstances behind it, and I want to say something to the people. I understand your anger, and the police chief said it best. We understood their anger. A lot of people yelled at the cops that were searching for the young lady. They didn't have anything to do with that. And I need to say that to people. Police respond to situations. They don't cause the situations. They respond to them. Now, they have a duty and an obligation to act professionally to what they respond to. But those officers that were out there searching, a lot of them weren't from that precinct. They weren't from that district. They were called to come in to do a job that we all knew eventually as time went on that this may not turn out to be a satisfactory situation. And it's hard on them too, because not only do they have to deal with being the ones to find this person, but they have to bear the scrutiny of the criminal act of the actual murderer, and then the criminal act of the district attorney that allowed this murderer to come out into our streets, given his track record and admitting that he dropped the ball on this, that his office dropped the ball, saying it's on me. You know who else said that? Wilson Good. Yeah. And I'm putting it out there because we are sick and tired of people giving cursory excuses for bad behavior by people who we entrust with our public safety. Just like this cop here in Chester that we just got finished talking about, same way I talk about my council person, David Banto, supposed to be in charge of public safety and can't tell you nothing about public safety where I live, to this person that's responsible for the deaths of so many people because he had a revolving door justice system of allowing criminals to hit back into the streets. Oh, Rich, you can't say that. I can, because like I said, I have my paperwork from the murder of my son. I have the timeline of this man from when the first time he got arrested. I have I have his jacket. I know what he did. I know when he did it. I know why he did it. Because that's what happens in trauma when your family member, your loved one is murdered. You now have to gather everything about that person's death like you had in that person's life. That's what it does. So the family of this young lady, pray for them. The family of this young lady, make sure that the efforts to make sure that mom and dad are taken care of, because they're going through something real traumatic. So anybody questioning the outpouring of love that's going to them and the method of the love that's going to them and how much they're going to receive, can you please, 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 please have some compassion? If you don't know what this feels like, just have some compassion. I'm very serious about that, because we're talking about a human life that was just going about life, living her life abundantly, being happy. We have to keep the focus on what's real nowadays, folks. What's real is that we have to teach our children in the way that they should go so that they don't get to these situations. We have to protect our black women. We need to groom our black boys. We need to make sure that we get our kids out of this hypersexualization that they have them under, that gets them in these situations, and it's happening at a younger age. It's happening at the elementary school level, folks. You have to decide for yourselves that you want to live righteously. That's all it is. That's all it is. Righteous, not holy. Righteous. Do the right thing. What you do behind your closed doors, that's your closed doors. I'm not here to judge none of that. But when we out here in these streets together, fellowship with me. Walk with me. Be my friend. Be my brother. I'll be your brother. But let's get to the right things, folks. Like, we have so much against us, and I know that, on my posts, I'll listen. I'll pick at you. I'll pick at you because I know that you're coming from a place and everything like that, and sometimes I'll rib you a little bit, but more importantly is that I listen to what people say. I believe what people say. When people talk about themselves, I believe who you are. I believe what you can do. I believe what you say that you're going to do. I believe that. There's no doubts in my mind. We have to remove doubts in order to come together. We have to remove the things that make us adverse. Like I said, where I live in Upper Darby, I don't have that. You got all these little cliques, and they're all political. You got nonprofits that don't want to work with this nonprofit. Nonprofits that don't want to work with the county. The county don't want us to work at all. The county don't want us to work at all. I'm sorry. I know the county comes down here. I know Jack comes down here sometimes. I know they come down here. That's photo op. Hi, Jack. That's photo op. That's cap. I'm going to say it. It's cap. Because they only show up when they want a picture. Where's the email of, hey, I was at your celebration. I just wanted to say it was a great thing, blah, 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 blah. Where's the picture at? Where's the picture at when you leave? You got to post a picture of him coming to your event. Get the hell out of here, man. Chester, y'all got a great community. Y'all got a lot of great players in it. You got restaurateurs. You have folks in the arts. You got music. spoken word, your diversity isn't necessary to be diverse with everybody else in the world when y'all got diversity amongst yourselves. Black people, keep it that way. It works. But get out of your feelings. For real, fast. Get out of your feelings. Come together. Bring this hot button issue topic to the table. Everybody check your ego at the door. Come up with a solution. Implement it before the next homecoming so that way the public understands that you're going to do things differently for the paramount safety of all. Because why? P, we did that event over at Subaru Park, right? We had the same amount of cops over there, same cops, Chester cops, Radnor cops, county cops, right? Y'all had a combination, all those type of officers there too, right? Pretty much, or was it just all Chester cops? Okay, so you had community response. Okay, so you had the community response. Okay, so was this after the situation, or was this during while the situation was going on? Okay, right. So all call was made to respond. Okay, so they weren't there throughout. Okay, so yeah, so
Right,
they weren't there throughout.
We had sheriffs at the county. I mean,
Okay.
at the
event.
At the event.
Okay.
At the football field.
Right.
Sheriffs were up there. Upland was probably up there. Chester Township was up there because that's usually what happens.
Right.
Right. Because Chester has to continue to go on. While,
Yeah.
Right. So,
Right.
Today it was only 2 officers on.
Yeah.
On patrol.
So I heard.
Right. It's crazy.
So yeah, that's crazy.
Right. But so they brought the sheriffs down. They brought Upland, or I wasn't there, so I can't really speak on it. So I'm just going off what I saw last year. So that's what typically happens. Afterwards, the Chester police, they were over town. I saw the lights flashing. You feel me? It was like, okay, I ain't walking over there to them. I ain't checking them out. You feel me?
Right.
Typically, I go over there, right, and just ask them how they feeling, like just to ease tension, right?
Right.
You know, just get the kids a little grace.
Right.
Saturday, I wasn't. I ain't feel like it.
Right.
You feel me? Like,
Right.
so,
Right.
You know, I saw that over there, and then I left. And then when I see the videos today, I don't see the same crowd. I don't see them backing people up. I see them literally spraying people who were left over, who were late to leave, or who were a little drunk, or dealing with whatever they were dealing with. So, you know, I don't know if they were all Chester cops. I can't speak for that. But, you know, anything that happens here, any cop that comes here into Chester and disrespects a resident, a Chester cop should be like, yo, chill. You feel me? Like, that's how I feel. But, you know, things are different.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, right? De-escalation has to be a mutual situation. It can't be the cops come to de-escalate a situation that people have escalated. And I saw in the video where one man was talking to another brother saying, yo, man, come on. That's the voice of reason. So when your partner is saying, yo, man, come on, that's where you de-escalate because that's your guy. That's your partner. That's your road dog. If your road dog is saying, yo, man, chill because we have to survive the encounter. I know the cops have to go home. They need to, you know, they thinking about going home. But for us, we have to survive the encounter. So if there's something that we have to deal with later, we know how to deal with it. I know that we have the freedom and the right to say what we need to say. Say it while you're walking. You can have the last word. It ain't, listen, I know how I get, you know what I mean? Some people don't like the police. They're going to say what they're going to say. Say it while you're walking. At least you're walking away from it. You can't get arrested for walking away. Or excuse me, I'm not gonna say you can't. You shouldn't get arrested for walking away while you mouthing off. But We have to police ourselves in these situations before it gets to a point of an all call for the police to involve themselves in our situations. We have to take these matters into our own hands as a community and create the ambassadors that people will recognize in these situations, in these sectors when this happens. And again, folks, I'm just saying, I'm just giving you something that is from a point of view with love after observing very intently and very keenly, listening to all sides. And I hope that this segment helps Chester to have a better, more organized, leadership-driven event next year. Come on, guys. Y'all don't need to fight. This homecoming is one of the best events, like I said, one of the best events that I see Chester put on every year. Every year. It's one of the best. Hang your hat on it. But let's eliminate the foolishness. Let's be honest. Let's fellowship with one another and straighten this out. It should not be to the point where, one group of people feel a certain type of way and another group of people say, you don't like what they said and this, that, and the third, and it just turns into, strife. I sat back and watched this whole weekend. I watched it. I love what you guys do. Like I said, I wish that we had that type of love where I'm at. I wish we had that type of love. But like I said, it's not all black. That's the best thing about your homecoming. It's all black. It's all yours. It's all yours. Yes, we know that we have people running the organization, but without the alumni, without the residents, without the historical folks that have made Chester what it is, East Side, West Side, Overtown, whatever, without y'all, hometown would be nothing. Homecoming would be nothing. Y'all are all hometown heroes. Be proud of that. Hang your hat on it. But respectfully, please hold a post-homecoming conference, whether it's on Zoom or if you need to, get a room or something like that, just invite people, whatever. Do that. Like fix it. Like, you guys don't have big issues. The mayor can talk to the cops, commissioner can talk to the cops. Y'all can talk to them at the meeting. The meeting's tomorrow, what, 10 o'clock tomorrow? 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow? There's a meeting tomorrow, 10 o'clock tomorrow. If you can get there, get there. Voice your concerns. Be loud. Be passionate. That's where it's supposed to be. That's where you're supposed to put it. That's where you're supposed to put it. You're supposed to go there. It's freedom of expression. You could be demonstrative. You can wave your hands in the air like you just don't care. You could clap your hands and you can express yourself. Freedom of expression. In a forum where you redress your grievances with your government. People don't understand that. They think that, you showing out. You're supposed to. You can go in there and cluck chicken for 3 minutes if you wanted to. That's your right. Nobody has the right to tell you how to express yourself. We had a whole song. Express yourself. Do it good. Back when we grew up. Now everybody talking about, you can't express yourself, and you can't say that, and you can't say that. Man, y'all better get out of here. That's why we in the mess that we in now. Because ain't nobody expressing themselves. Everybody just pointing fingers and blaming. Come together, Chester. Y'all can do it. See you guys on the flip side.